This is Kevin F. Pope with the Pope's Perspective and my review of Ready Player One. Now, if any of you have watched my most anticipated films of 2017, this was a big one on my list, and it's early in the year, but this is the big one on my list. I was so excited for this film, okay? I have read the book, and now I've seen the film. What are my thoughts? First off, I'm gonna say, this is an awesome movie. This movie was just as I wanted it to be and just as I was hoping for, and pretty much had good expectations for. The pop culture references were awesome. They were all over the place. There was a ton of them, including my favorite big guy right here. Hello. This is my friend. I love this guy since I was a kid. If you don't know, this is Mr. Kong, Mr. King Kong. And he comes in at the very beginning of the film in a really awesome way. So yes, I was very happy with how they included him in the film. Okay, I'm ranting about King Kong, but King Kong's a big thing for me, so I geeked out. Okay? Right before King Kong, you have the T-Rex from Jurassic Park. Okay? And I geeked out over that too. Okay? I didn't geek out as much on T-Rex because shortly after you get King Kong. Okay? I'm going on a tangent here, but you know what? People might go on tangents on this film because you see these characters, these icons that you recognize and you know, and it's just like, oh, I recognize that. That's so awesome. And they delivered on that part of the film. Okay? So, as far as the story goes, it's a pretty solid story. They tell the beginning of the tale. You meet Wade Watts, who his avatar is Parsifal, and you learn about the Oasis, what the Oasis is, this virtual world, and they go on and you find out about the creator's death and that there's this contest, and that's really where the film jump starts, okay? Just like it did in the book. Maybe not just like the book, but that's the jump start. Speaking of the book, many of you who have read the book probably want to know, how faithful is this to the book? Here's the thing, like, as far as spirit of the book and what the book is about and the journey, I would say this is a faithful adaptation. But if you want a book that's like verbatim, exactly like the book, and they tell the story just as the book does, every plot point comes in just as the book comes, you're going to be disappointed. Because there are deviations, and there's actually a lot of them. However, as I said, it's so true to the spirit of the book, and I think it's still the same characters that we love from the book. One downfall I will say, we don't get to know the characters nearly as well as you do in the book, which you can say, like, the book you have more time to flesh out characters, but they could have fleshed out the characters more in the movie. So that is one minor fault of the movie, okay? And then, as far as the plot of the film goes, there are certain moments from the book that are definitely there, okay? And you might say, like, oh, this film, some people might come into the film, and some people who've read the book may come into this film and say, oh, this is nothing like the book. They changed this book. They ripped this part of the book apart. Yes and no. There are elements of the book spread throughout, okay? There's things that happen in the book that happen in the film. Do they necessarily happen in the same order in the book? No. There are some things that happen in the book with certain characters, and they switch it happens to a different character. And that was one thing I noticed. I'm just like, hey, that happened in the book, but that was with this character. But I'm like, you know what? I don't care. And that's the whole truth. Is like, if you go into this film just expecting a good movie, an entertaining film, that's what you're gonna get, because this film delivers. It's a fun ride, it's a fun adventure, so be open-minded. The book's great. I say read the book, enjoy the book. I also strongly recommend the audiobook read by Wil Wheaton. He's awesome. I loved listening to the audiobook. So check that out if you haven't, and just go into this movie expecting a fun time, and you are going to have one. Ready Player One, awesome, 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 start to finish. I loved this film. Steven Spielberg, you have done it again. And that's the Pope's Perspective.